So this video goes through configuring a BX992 position, heading and altitude system. So if we go through the web interface here, we can see that the INS system is converged. So the position type is INS, and it also shows that the INS is aligned, which is what we want. And when we go into the INS display, it shows us our heading, our pitch and roll. And again, we see the detailed attitude information with the fact that the magnetometer is disabled, which is what we would have with a dual antenna system. The magnetometer is not required. When we go into the detailed INS configuration, here we set the scale of the model. We set the reference point from the master antenna to where we want the NMEA data generated from. We want to put the vector information between the primary and secondary GNSS antenna. And finally, from the reference antenna to the IMU system itself. And these must be put into centimeter level accuracy. We can configure our exports. So we export the data out normally to some sort of nav system. And normally we're going to use the Pasha export, the AVR export, or the HTT export. And they will give you either heading, pitch, or roll. Here I'm just exporting it into real term. In the video off to the side, you can see this mock-up that we've done. So we've set the system in a vehicle, and we've got the BX992 dimensionally controlled, so we know its accuracy of its positioning relative to the antennas to a centimeter level. And then as we move the vehicle, we can see our heading and our pitch and our roll all update on the fly. So for this particular system, the testing that's been done here, we're not using RTK level correction data, so we're just using SBAS. So the absolute accuracy of this system is going to be limited by that level of correction accuracy, so it'll be around 1 meter. But the heading and the pitch and the roll is not degraded at all based on the quality of the external corrections, so we'll still get the top level of heading, pitch and roll. What will affect things is obviously we've got a relatively short baseline between our two antennas here, so the further apart these antennas, then the better quality of heading we're going to get. This system is obviously normally, it's most frequently used for our own customer base, would be in marine applications, so positioning offshore structures, but obviously any application whereby you would need heading, pitch and roll and positioning. The BX992 is a small box system, and you can see that we're basically cabling into it here, so there's no Wi-Fi and there's no front panel. And the new MPS 566 works in a very similar way, but that does give us the added advantage of having an integrated UHF radio, having a front panel, having Wi-Fi, and also having a USB-C connector on it as well. So this is a quick overview of the BX992 in operation.